and concisely. And once you learn how to do that, then you can bring in all the stakeholders and you can get into programs that'll help you and train you on how to build it. But that first step is you have to design a business model that is desirable.
When I initially moved back to Pensacola, I had a meeting with Lloyd. Lloyd invited me for breakfast, and I was telling him, man, I still have an idea for the entertainment industry. This is what I wanted to do. He was like, all right, I got Startup on the Blocks. So I need you to start coming to Startup on the Blocks and get a little more information on how to work through the tech ecosystem and take your idea and we'll get you where you need to go. My company is called The Know, is an app that is streamlining business for the entertainment industry. Yeah, so if you're a musician, what you would do is pretty much jump on the platform, you'll create a profile, but the way we created the profile is pretty much a cleaner way. So now if they want more information about you, you'll connect your social media platforms, your streaming platforms, and that way they can go directly to it. What we also have included is your calendar. So pretty much you can set your days, you can set your price for your days and automate your booking. So initially talking to Lloyd, my idea was all here, it was there, it was over here, it was over there. It was like, all right, Quinn, I get it. You got a lot that you want to do, but we need you to bring it in just a little bit and then work on your pitch, your story, and how you're going to bring it full circle to get people to understand what you're trying to create.
Most of the programs here wasn't inclusive, and so we said we'll focus on helping founders of color. We also start at the beginning of the thing, at the idea stage, whereas a lot of the programs you see here locally, they start after you're up, and that's not very efficient unless if you don't have a lot of money, you can't recover from your mistakes. And the lean startup system, it actually helps you make mistakes faster before you spend a lot of money. You don't actually start building anything until you got customer buy-in.
There was a need for small businesses to bring brand awareness to their business. I see there's a lot of makers and bakers that they're making all of these goodies and these products, but they can't market it, they can't sell it at the same time, and there needs to be kind of like that middleman, that middle person to help bring economic growth to some of the small businesses in Pensacola. So Taste of Pensacola, I came up with that idea during the pandemic when I saw things at that time that Amazon couldn't fulfill. They didn't even have those products, but the local people in the community, they did. And so there was a ton of people coming out saying, hey, I make masks. I'm like, wow, this is amazing, all the local people here that are just as talented that can actually make those products. And so I wanted to kind of showcase who they were. So with Taste of Pensacola, our income streams, we have several of them. We have the corporate America, we do corporate gifting, just regular consumers, different Pensacola natives that don't live here that want to purchase our boxes, like a taste of weddings, distribution. So we also do bulk sales. So for a private airline, if they want some local snacks and goodies on their passenger flights, they will come to Taste of Pensacola and we will source their vendors here locally, and we'll give a small business owner an opportunity to have reoccurring monthly sales. I've always had a really big vision for Taste of Pensacola. I knew that it could go beyond just local. I know that maybe other communities could possibly use the same platform that I'm trying to build. And I always have these big visions, but I never know how to even get there. Where do I start? I know it's more than, there's a lot of technical things behind it. I know there's a lot of research, but that connection, I never had it until, thankfully, I met and was introduced to Startups on the Blocks and was able to just learn more about how to grow it in terms of data. Things I just never thought about, framework, words like traction. There's a lot of things that I just did not know about and language that I need to know in order to get funding for my business. There's just a lot that I didn't know.
I would go to the stores and look online. They didn't have a wide variety of natural hair products about 8 years ago. And the ones that they did have, the ingredients, it would say that they were all natural. And when I would research the ingredients, a lot of the ingredients were not natural. I make everything, my shampoo, conditioner, I have an oil that I make, and I have 2 different separate butters. Like I had some people who were completely bald and grew their hair. It's about giving women their confidence back in their hair. I have this salon and then I have a second salon, and I have my products in about 5 beauty supply stores. So I need a manufacturer to keep up with the demand at this point. Startup on the Blocks has helped my business grow, send me to different people. I'm able to do different pitch competitions to apply for grants in the community for small businesses. Lloyd's a really good person to connect with. He has a lot of resources here in the community that can help small businesses grow. If you have a product out there and you're trying to go big time, he's the person that you would want to meet with.
So it's really important to have some type of support because 9 times out of 10, most founders start out on their own. And to have somebody that has an idea of how the ecosystem works and is able to tap into other resources and bring back to the community, and that pretty much has encountered some of the roadblocks or going through the same roadblocks that we're currently going through and understands where you're at, your culture and how you respond to things, is a big help because you don't really have too many people that have access to what we have access to here in the community. And a lot of people believe that you have to leave and go to bigger cities to do the things that we're doing here. But I mean, it's one thing to have exposure, but you have to actually know it's here in the community in order to take advantage of the resources. So I get approached and I talk to friends all the time that wants to either start an idea or hear that I'm actually doing the app and wants to know more information about how are you doing it or what's the process, what's the path. I'm like, man, we have somebody here, Startup on the Blocks, Lloyd Richard, and Lloyd is here. He's a great resource to the community and to founders that's trying to learn the ecosystem. So join Startup on the Blocks.
Of course, we joined Startup on the Blocks. We're glad to have you all here. Welcome to another Startup Founder Best Practices. We're going to bring Ray on once he turns his camera on here, so we can get the ball rolling. There you go. How's it going, Ray?
Hey, how you doing, Lloyd? Going pretty good. How about yourself?
Good to see you. Glad to have you back on and you out there learning all this stuff. So we want to make sure people get the opportunity for you to share what you've been learning.
Definitely.
Digging deep, right?
I am ready to dig in.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. Why don't you take a quick 1 to 2 minutes to kind of introduce yourself, and so people get a feel for what you're up to.
Yeah, so my name is Ray Arsenault. I'm here located in Nashville. Have an organization called Black Tech Mafia. We're a nonprofit 501c3 where we're educating the community on technology, especially this AI technology that's going on right now. And so I would say the last 7 years, I've been in technology first as a software developer, working for other companies, and then decided after being laid off several times to just do my own thing. And so, thankfully, with this new AI boom, I've been able to learn more and do more and get to a level of competency in AI. And so I've been coaching and mentoring both business owners and the youth on, as I say, the new hustle is tech. And I'm the connect. So I'm trying to connect our community to this power of technology.
And fantastic. That's really admirable of you, Ray. And we definitely appreciate what you're doing, and I want to dig a little more deeper into that tonight. But let me first kind of give a little shout out to some of our partners and sponsors. These are a few of our partners, and we kind of leverage them because they have resources that help founders, and so we want to make sure you have access, to this information and these resources to kind of help you grow. They help us reach more founders, and they also have tools, AI-driven tools that can help you plan out and do your business modeling and get the help you need. And majority of them definitely leveraging AI. And these are some of the folks that help foot the bills and et cetera. And so we definitely appreciate their support. And so one of the neat things about the ecosystem, startup ecosystem, is that there are a lot of organizations out there supporting founders, but you need to learn about these organizations and how they support founders. And so that's really the secret sauce. You don't want to be out there by yourself trying to build something and just wandering around when you can actually have the folks that got a lot of expertise. Yeah, we have a bunch of coaches that's been certified on the lean stack process. Myself and Corey and Vince, we're level 3 certified on this process of building a startup. And so our training focuses in these areas right here. So the bottom line is the framework for building startups. We have access to that, and we give you that access. We have access to the operational stuff that startups founders need to know and operate their business. So, and that's all of this is part of what we call our founders insight program. And so uh, we're excited about offering that to founders out there to help them build and grow their businesses. And it works for any type businesses. It works for Main Street business. It works for a startup business that's trying to scale out to a lot of users. We got the process. We got the framework, so you shouldn't be out there not knowing what to do and when to do it. And so one of the keys to the startup ecosystem, you just need to, if you're not aware of how significant it is, you definitely need to have one of your large language model things, do some research and say, what is the startup ecosystem and how can it help me grow my business? Whether you up and running, making money, or whether you just got an idea, there's organizations and ecosystem that no matter where you are in the life cycle of a startup, that you can get the help you need to move forward. And one of the keys to the ecosystem is knowing how to pitch your business model, not your product or service, your business model, how you make money with your product or service. And once you learn how to do that, you can get all the help you need to kind of move forward. And that's what's really important. And this is kind of like the life cycle of a startup. And you don't start at 1, you start at -0. So just remember that. And before, people out there, incorporating business and getting LLCs and forming business that when they're at the -2 stage, you haven't even figured out what you're doing yet. And, it's just, you have to know what to do when. It's kind of the idea behind that. And that's the same thing behind this chart, partner, Startup Science. Your business goes through these phases. And so you don't do stuff, if you're at phase 2, you don't try to do stuff in phase 4 or 5. And that's what people are doing. And that's what's messing them up. They try to do stuff too early or too soon. And you just have to understand what you do. And this particular Startup Science thing, it's literally got the whole ecosystem built in it. It's got all the funding sources. It's got the training. It's got the tools, that you can use to grow, and we provide that to you. And so that's just keep that in mind. And a core tool we use is called the Lean Stack, and this what I'm showing you here is called a traction roadmap. And in this Lean Stack system, it has a tool called the traction roadmap, but it helps you plan out your business and help you design a scalable business model, so you can as you go to the right and up, your business grows. That's what the idea behind that is. Yeah, and this is a kind of these little icons of lean canvases, and that's the things whenever you're trying to get help, you have to talk about your business model. It's a one-page business plan, but we call it a business model. And we teach you how to design a scalable business model using the Lean Stack framework. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel on it. But this is kind of the process you go through. And we created a mega prompt that has 27 steps in it. It takes you through all of this stuff and more. So that's why you need to be a part of what's going on here. Isn't that right, Ray? I think that's basically it for that. And so, I wanted to make sure people were aware of what we're up to and how we can help them move forward. Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. And so, kind of what we want to talk about tonight, Ray. I'm going to show a video in a second here, but I kind of said what prompted you to want to share some of the stuff you got going on.
Well, the big thing is that, a lot of people are using these LLMs, Claude, Chat GPT, as like they were using Google in 2006.
Hmm.
That's the big thing. Like that's not what this is, people. I tell you, that's not what this is. And so I just wanted to kind of share some of the knowledge that I've been able to gain over the last 6 7 months that have kind of just opened my eyes to what's really going on here. So
Okay, good, good,
so
good.
that's
Yeah,
basically it. Yeah, I believe
yeah.
that we're probably using most people are using chat and Claude maybe 5% of it when it's a business brain, it's a business engine that is it's powerful beyond anything we've ever seen. And I believe that, and we'll get into this later about,
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
believe. Yeah. But I'll let
yeah.
you go ahead and show the video and I'll get off camera
Okay.
here.
All right. All right. Go ahead.
If you're in the AI space, you know the feeling, right? It's this constant barrage of new tools, and you always feel like you're one step behind. Well, today, we are putting an end to all that chaos. We're going to stop jumping from tool to tool and start thinking like an architect. We've all seen the headlines. We've all been in those debates. Is Claude better than ChatGPT? Has Gemini finally caught up? It seems to be the only question anyone's asking. But what if I told you it's entirely the wrong question? What if by pitting these tools against each other, we're completely missing the point? You see, when you ask that question, you end up with something called tool sprawl. It's this mess of custom GPTs, Claude skills, Gemini in your workspace, not to mention all the others. It creates this overwhelming complexity. The source material has a great phrase for it: architecture sprawl before operational consolidation. In other words, you're just building stuff without a plan. And that, my friends, is a recipe for burnout, not a breakthrough. So here's the crucial mindset shift we need to make. We have to stop asking the tactical question, so what's new? And start asking a much more strategic question. Okay, what layer of the stack does this belong to? This is so much bigger than just using tools. It's about mapping out what they can do and understanding their specific role in a much larger system. And what's really fascinating is where this new mindset takes you. This quote from the source material just says it all. You are not just learning, you are preparing to teach. See, when you start thinking like an architect, you go way beyond just being a user. You're designing systems, you're building frameworks, and you're getting to a level of mastery that you can actually pass on to others. So, how do we actually do this? How do we make the shift practical? Well, with a framework called the Founder Intelligence Stack. It's a 6-layer model designed to bring some much-needed strategic clarity to all this AI chaos. Let's break it down. Now look at how this thing is built. It's so logical. Most people, they want to jump straight to step 4, right, to automation. But a real architect, they start at the foundation. Layer 1 is capture. You have to get the raw data first. Then you interrogate it for evidence. Only after that do you get to reason about it, execute on it, embed that intelligence, and finally track how it's all performing. This sequence is absolutely key. Capture before you interrogate and reason before you execute. All right, now for the really fun part. Let's take those big name tools we were talking about, ChatGPT, Claude, all of them, and see where they actually fit inside this stock. This is where we stop seeing them as competitors and start seeing them as collaborative partners, each with a very specific job to do. We're starting at the very bottom, the foundation. Layer 1, capture. This is your memory layer. And for this job, we'll place a tool like TwinMind. Its purpose isn't to think or create anything. Its only job is to record the raw signal, all the stuff from meetings and calls, to prevent what our source calls cognitive leakage. You know, when you lose all those valuable little insights. Because at the end of the day, you can't analyze what you didn't capture. Okay, once you've captured reality, you have to interrogate it. That brings us to layer 2, and the perfect tool here is Notebook LM. Think of this as the clarity layer. It's a source-grounded thinking engine, which means it forces you to base your ideas on actual evidence. It makes you go back to your own documents, it surfaces your hidden assumptions, and it validates your claims. It keeps you honest. Now we can move up to layer 3, reason. And this is where a tool like Claude just shines. Claude is the thinker. With its gigantic context window and its knack for cognitive discipline, it is perfect for that deep structural thinking, for designing the complex architecture of your entire system. This is the layer that provides the blueprint. And once you have that blueprint, it's time for layer 4, execute. And this is ChatGPT's turf. ChatGPT is the executor. It's brilliant at taking those well-thought-out plans and actually turning them into action, building agents, automating workflows, and plugging into that huge distribution ecosystem through the GPT store. An executed system is awesome, but it's got to live where the work actually gets done. And that's layer 5, embed. This is Gemini's unique strength. Think of it as the institutional brain. It is designed from the ground up for deep integration right inside an organization's workspace. Your Google Docs, your Sheets, your Drive, making all that intelligence a totally native part of your daily workflow. And when you lay it all out like this, boom, everything just clicks. Instead of this messy brawl between different tools, you have a clear, collaborative stack. TwinMind captures, Notebook LM interrogates, Claude reasons, ChatGPT executes, and Gemini embeds. Each platform has its primary role, and they all work together to create this incredibly powerful intelligence engine. So what does all this actually mean for you? It means you get to stop being a consumer, just hopping from one shiny new tool to the next, and you get to become an architect. You now have a framework for making deliberate, strategic choices. The power is officially in your hands now, which means the real question is, what kind of architect are you going to be? Are you going to consolidate and go deep with one system? Or are you going to build a more flexible hybrid stack? Your answer to that is going to define everything. You're now at what we can call the architect's fork in the road, and you've got 3 main paths. First, you can consolidate. That means you anchor yourself to one ecosystem, like Google or OpenAI, and just go super deep. Second, you can hybridize, running a layered stack just like we've been talking about, picking the absolute best tool for each specific job. Or third, you can abstract, which means you build your own custom interface that sits on top of all of them. So let's bring it all home. The message is simple. Stop tool hopping, start architecting. Because the real power, the real breakthrough, isn't in any single tool. It's in the coherence of the system that you design. Now, go build your blueprint.
Right, Ray. Get on back on here. Yeah, so that didn't sum up what we were talking about earlier this morning, but I used it to kind of get sort of kind of introduce what we were thinking and talking about. Yeah, I see Sam is back there on YouTube. Glad to have you back, Sam. Yeah, appreciate you chiming in. And what I want to let everybody to know is, Ray and I are open. If you got questions, put them in the chat. That's what we here for, to help you move forward with what you're doing. So don't hesitate to ask questions. That's how everybody learns, including myself and Ray. Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. So what did you think, Ray, on leveraging Notebook LM, to be able to explain a video like that, to kind of help get the point across of what's going on?
Yeah, I definitely enjoy it, and so that's something that I've been kind of sharing with some of the people I've been working with, consulting, a lot of real estate agents that
Mm-hmm.
are using Notebook LM now. So, say for example, for a client onboarding,
Mm-hmm.
first time home buyer, somebody moving into Nashville or moving to a new area, you can create your Notebook LM and put all your resources in there, have that video play, kind of give them a online onboarding type of process that some people are like, oh wow, like I didn't know that it can do all that. And when I played with it earlier, I had played with it in the beginning stages when they had just the podcast, back and
Yeah.
forth podcast, and then they added that. And I kind of like the way that now you can get all your resources within Notebook LM. Now instead of, you can still pull in out resources, but you can still do the Google Deep Research right there in Notebook LM. So that kind of keeps you in that instead of, again, going here, going here, going there. It just makes it real, streamlines the process to build up whatever you're trying to build within the Notebook LM. So
Yeah, well, my main thing about Notebook LM is the world is complicated, and so you need something to explain it to you. and the videos, do okay, and the infographics really help me get a kind of a picture of what's going on. But when I'm really trying to learn, I interact with the podcast and ask the podcast questions, and I challenge it. We going back
Wow.
just like you and I talking. I go back and forth with it nonstop. I'll even start talking about somebody asking something else.
Yeah, it is pretty wild. And like I know people that now they're driving around in the car and they're listening to it. They're learning stuff from it being in the car now. It's kind of like their own personal, education assistant right there in Notebook LM. Like you can learn whatever you want to, share whatever you want to right there within that. And that's a powerful tool. Like that's something that people would pay used to pay hundreds of dollars for, like to have like these learning programs. Like I believe like what is it, Audacity and some of these learning platforms and stuff. I believe they're dead in the water now. You got Notebook LM that, the free tier. I think you can add up to 100 and something resources. You can tell it what you want to learn. It'll go out there and get that information, pull it in. It's personalized to you, and then you can listen
Mhm.
to it, talk back. Like it's like, having an AI tutor on steroids pretty much. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And about a month ago or so, I was reading an article, and it was using the gems in Gemini, and using the six different notebooks as sources. And the example was a lady was taking seven classes, and so she had a notebook for each class that she was trying to learn, and then so she used Gemini gems to create an agent, so she can ask the AI agent a question, and it would pick the right notebook, to kind of
yeah.
uh,
Mhm.
yeah. So people doing all kind of stuff and to kind of move forward. And there's no, even like with that video, you there's so many different capabilities these tools have, and yeah, and so just it's not the only way, but it's just to kind of give you an idea. You need to have a framework for doing stuff and not just be randomly doing it. And most of the folks out there are prompting about their business, but they're not prompting about their business within a framework, a proven framework that helps you grow your business. And that's what the challenge is.
Yeah, and I've been telling people all the same thing. It's not about like what you know, it's about how fast you act on what you know now because everybody has access to these tools now and it's just amazing how smart they keep on getting. So if you're sitting on information, sitting on a product, sitting on whatever that you're trying to do, and if you're not leveraging these tools the way you are, again, it's not about what you know. Like that, like knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power and action with it is power. So that's kind of where we need to be going if you're trying to, especially entrepreneurs, business owners right now. So I
Hmm.
see like there's some questions in there. What are
Yes.
some of the top three tools when building with AI? So I'm not building with AI anymore. I'm letting AI do the building. I'm just directing it. So that's one of the shifts that me and Lloyd was talking about. A lot of people are using AI as tools. No, you want to use AI as a system that does what you want it to do now. It's a different mindset. It's just kind of like most people are using AI like Google. Like that's when me and you had that
Yeah.
conversation
Yeah.
with you, Lord. Like most people just one question and get an answer, one question, copy and paste, and that's not even the close of what these things can do. For example, me and you were talking earlier about how I am seeing use cases where people are using chat as their business engine for operations, for marketing, for finance. Like they're not using other tools anymore. They're not paying for software subscriptions anymore. They're using chat to do all that within chat, and chat is smart to do all that. And a lot of people don't know that right now. They're still, our minds have to shift because this is a powerful tool that, this is artificial intelligence. What is artificial intelligence? It's the replication of human intelligence. And it doesn't get tired. It gets smarter and smarter. And the thing about it is this is just I would say the digital form of artificial intelligence. And Lloyd, you can speak on this a lot better than I can. Wait till the robots come. Wait till the robots come, and they'll have these different models within them, and that they'll all get updated at the same time and all have all that knowledge like just that fast. So I think we haven't seen anything yet. Like I think this year, for us, the digital uses of these tools are going to be amazing and continue to go amazing. But I don't even think we're at, yeah, we're not even at one third of what's going to end up happening once, as they say, we hit the singularity moment, or
Yeah.
that moment where everything shifts, everything before doesn't really matter because the intelligence is going to get so smart, and these things are going to have the capabilities that we never thought of. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
So you've been learning a lot, but so what sort of triggers your learning? What do you do to kind of keep moving forward?
Well, one thing that I do every day, I am using AI to build something every day.
Okay.
I have a use case where I'm using it to build something I need to get done, or something that somebody has to get done, right? Because
Okay.
that's the shift here is that if AI, if it takes your time, then AI should be able to do that. If it takes, as I say, administrative non income producing time to do something, AI should be able to do that, right? And I mean, you had again, piggybacking off our conversation, a lot of founders and people and business people now should be working on those soft skills, being able to speak, articulate, and okay, again, as you said, Lloyd, be able to get your point across in a way that's clear and precise for other people to understand, especially when it comes to that business model. So I'm building something every day. The AI is building something for me to take away something that I don't want to do. That's what I'm doing every day. I spend 30 to 45 minutes a day with a AI tool, if it's Claude or if it's Chat, building something that it's going to do for me every day.
Great, great. So from the audience, so what are some of your favorite AI tools that you use so we can share them with the rest of the folks? You know, so um, so what about listening to people that are out there already doing it? So I thought you mentioned something about podcasts.
Yeah.
How you
One,
leverage that for learning?
yeah. So I take the transcript and the transcript, and I'll throw it into Claude, and then I'll apply it to what I'm doing. I'll say, hey, based on this, I don't have a prompt. I actually have a business engine that automatically knows what I want. I'll put the transcript into there, and it'll read it, and it'll give me the parts that relate to me, and then I give it I have a repeatable tool that it gives me the confidential information that I want, so I can use it for myself, and then I make another document, and it that does client facing for other people to be able to apply it to their situation. So it's a generic that anybody template can use, and then I have the one that's just for me, and it spits it out to me like instantly, like that.
So does that help speed up your learning or your understanding? Is that where you headed with that?
Yes, because one thing we have to understand right now, and this is something I always watch, what is it, Moonshots podcast, and then it's another podcast I watch, Diary of a CEO, and they have different people coming on that are in these spaces that are a lot smarter than me, MIT, Stanford, people that's been working for deep minds and deep research for years before AI became, mainstream. And a lot of them are saying that, you want to be able to see the patterns. So that's what I ask it. I have one particular patterns, be able to see the patterns, be able to actually adapt the patterns, be able to take what the patterns are showing, but also then create your own patterns. And so that's one thing, like, for I've been able to use that because in this day and age now, it's going to be the people that recognize and adapt and pivot faster than anything right now because it's so much information out there. And so that's some of the podcasts that I really get into a lot. And I have those on autopilot as well as Y Combinator. We always talk
Mhm,
about Y Combinator
mhm.
because all those companies that they're like investing in, they're the ones that the billionaires are like betting on. So you want to see what those companies are doing and what spaces they're in. And because that's just kind of the pattern I've seen in the last 5 years, I would say Y Combinator being one of the biggest places for me to learn about what's been going on and just kind of applying it to my own situation with some of the businesses and ventures that I have.
Yeah. So do you also paste articles into your engine thing that you have?
Yeah, so what I do is actually, so I have it connected. So all those podcasts that I spoke to you about,
Okay.
I have an agent that, like, whenever a new podcast, one of those episodes pull up, it generalizes a summary for me
Okay. So
based
you
based
automate. Yeah, you automated it. So,
automated it, and
yeah.
it gives me. And so I told you about that end of week report that I do every. I have a agent that does that. It gives me an end of repeat ever over and over again report of what's going on every week and what I've learned. And how I can apply it to my situation, and then it also tells me, like, so I have goals every week too as well for certain ventures that I have that are now running on AI, and it tells me, like, that I hit my goal, that I hit my activities, and what
Mhm.
shifted and everything like that, and what to do better next time. And so that's kind of some of the reasons why you should be using Chad and Clyde like that, because these tools, if you're prompting and it says what is, starts with what is, you're still a consumer. You're still a consumer, right? But
Yeah.
if your prompt starts with analyze, develop, like those are those action verbs, right? That we want to use to get it to think, because it's a lot smarter than us. It's a, I don't know what to really put a term on. It's just is a engine. It's a business engine. It's not
Mhm.
just AI. It's a business engine.
Yeah. So yeah, that sounds really really fantastic, and it sounds a lot like what we branded the niche verbose prompting method, and it because it that's exactly what it does, and I use a similar approach. So my learning comes from I record most things. Like I'll take the transcript from tonight, or if I'm in, all the I'm on a lot of boards, so I take, get all those transcripts. I use a tool called, what is it called? Um, Hux, I believe, HUXE, and I mentioned it a couple of times because what it does, and it goes out. First it lets you, actually what you're interested in, and so and then so like for me, I'm interested in, you know, AI infrastructure, AI, the funding rounds, and I'm interested in history. Uh, all those kind of things, the chips, the hardware, and stuff like that. So um, when I click on Hux in the morning, it's already got a summary of all my emails. But this is the crazy. I have, like, let's say I got 6 email accounts for different things, and it tells me what's going on in each one of them and what I need to pay attention to. It looks at my calendar, and tell me what I calendars, and tell me what I need. It tells me what the local information is. It this morning it was telling me about the history of the Enigma machine. But what most people don't realize, all of those things have patterns, and then the AI can figure out what those patterns is and show you how that same pattern can be used today. And so
Definitely.
I don't even have to try hard on that. Then I take that transcript if I want to. Then I do my Lanika prompt, just like your engine you were talking about with it, and get it to analyze it. And so it's always critical, to definitely analyze the information. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and it makes me think about what we did in the boot camp there,
yeah,
where we did the customer interviews, right, and the
yeah,
patterns and everything. Like, that's kind of the things I've been trying to make sure I stress to tell people is, like, get that raw data, right? That
yeah,
raw data, the patterns, and, like, what to provide, what's going on in different use cases, and then you plug that into AI for your particular field, problem, or whatever it may be, and it just kind of helps you. And so, one example I like to share is, so I was working with a broker who has a here in Nashville that has a $2 million house for listed, and so what I created was I guess you would say a AI agent that we put the listing information in there, and it created like buyer personas
Okay.
that would be target towards a $2 million buyer.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you that that persona was head on with those particular people that have reached out to look at the house, put an offer on the house. They were like retirees moving to Middle Tennessee, or they were doctors, they were high income, executives. They were people that didn't care about schooling because they homeschooled, and these were high income producing people. But that one use case has helped that agent get a lot of activity, and that house was on the market, I believe, 107 days before me and this particular broker met. And so, I can't wait to hear from them when they tell me they actually got a contract accepted on it. But it was because we started our marketing towards those particular buyers. We didn't just throw a whole net over all the buyers. We needed to identify who were the highest and most likely buyers to be able to afford, first of all, a $2 million house. And then we directed our marketing and our efforts to those people and those other agents who have been selling $2 million houses. And so that was one use case that I just want to create something that will help solve that problem. And that these are the things that's going to help people. It's going to be the difference between if you're selling real estate in 5 years and not selling real estate in 5 years, if you got to use these tools to get faster and smarter. So that's just one of the use cases that I've been able to help some small business owners be able to use AI a different way, because they're using, most real estate agents, and they're using it to write listing descriptions. Okay, that's fine. That's a good thing. But no, she's using it so she can get a $50,000 to $60,000 commission check. To get that, and so that's kind of some of the things, I always say, you can either play with AI or you can get paid with AI. You choose.
Yeah. And I think with the lean, everything you just mentioned is kind of what the lean stack is all about. But you have to have a business model, and then you have to validate the demand for the business model. But when you in validating the demand for the business model, you literally are creating. So like in the early stages, like with your business idea, you don't have those personas. You have what you do is you develop these things called customer forces stories and jobs to be done stories and hiring Frank Hunter. But it's all from taking the transcript from those problem discovery interviews, 10 to 15 of them. And so, but these questions that you ask are mapped to customer forces, jobs to be done, and hiring and firing criteria. So you're not just, just interviewing just to be interviewing. You interview them, and then you mentioned that got the persona for who to market to, and so that's at the time you're doing this, you are already have figured out who you need to when you do the interviews, it helps you figure out who is the one you need to be marketing to. But then the customer forces story is how you market to them to get them to switch to using your approach as a solution as opposed to someone else's solution. So it's a really really neat deal. And so so I see Sam's wants to go. Sam's in the real estate business too. Yeah. So yeah, the deal there. But so let me tell you some magic. This is just to show you how significant how using AI is. So you could take the transcript from our conversation today, and you don't need the videos, just the transcript, and you can just prompt that transcript. Please explain the use case, the real estate use case that the speaker mentioned. It'll go in there and get that and explain explain the use case. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, that's how simple you it's just the transcripts are so valuable, and that's why I just got in the habit of recording everything. And so the one of the tools that was mentioned in the video earlier was called Twin Mind, and I just started using it at the beginning of the year. But what was the selling point for that tool was, and I don't remember paying anything for it. So but the good thing is it runs on your iPhone and or Android phone or in your browser. But if it's on your phone, it's actually doesn't need the cloud or anything to do it, and it's unlimited transcripts. you know, so that's crazy, and so you can record as much as you want. But what's neat about it, it takes every conversation and weaves all the conversations together. So you get the insight from multiple conversations, not just from one transcript. And so that's why they call it twin mind. But you have to know how to prompt it too. So I use ChatGPT to help me understand how to prompt it. And from going through that process, I discovered, since I prompt about a lot of things, how do I accomplish the same thing with ChatGPT?
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah,
you're prompting against each other then, right? You
yeah,
use the one
yeah,
to create the prompt. Yeah, and that's one thing that's been a game changer as well. I would
okay,
share that. Yeah, I've say, hey, help me write a meta prompt. I've been using that word meta prompt
okay,
that will do XYZ that I can copy and paste into, I'll say the other tool and it'll give me one. And I'm more than likely, I say 9 times out of 10, the prompt is better than the one I gave it. And it gives me the better results than I gave it. So that's definitely been a game changer, say some tokens on some of these tools as well. Yeah.
yeah. So that's really fantastic. And so yeah, it's just, and what I think, and once you start generating information from these transcripts and from these things, it and the AI knows what you're trying to build. It's going to start suggesting how you can use it to help you build. And I think that's real important. Yes. So you have any other use cases or examples you want to share? Um, uh, share.
Well, one other one that I kind of did for myself was I was watching something. So more like when people are trying to sell on social media, trying to boost their social media, I
Hmm.
read something that said it takes a person 11 times to see you 11 times before they notice you for the first time on
Okay.
social media. And so, being like there's tools out there that will automate your social media, you know, posting and stuff online. So what I decided to do was I created an agent that I can create a posting on all the different social media platforms with an image, and then it'll do all the thumbnails for me for free through chat. I'm using chat to do this now, right?
Hmm.
And then I've connected it so that it can post on all the different social media platforms for me. And it also follows a script where it has the hook, the body, and the call to action, and
Hmm.
it's on autopilot. It's on autopilot. Well, most people are spending about two to three different about 2 to 3 different tools that are doing that they're paying for, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna try to do this myself. And it, just being able to tell Chat and Claude, I go between the two of them, what I want to really accomplish. I use Chat for the idea, but I
Okay.
use Claude for the execution. And
Okay.
so now, like you said, well, I think I shared this once before, is that so each one of my different agents have a mode, and
Okay.
so I have like a prefix in my prompt where
Uh,
if it's CE, it's consulting. If it's RE, it's real estate. If
okay.
it's FINS, is my personal finances. I'm wanting to go do something for me. And
Okay.
so what I've done is I've been able to like use these different agents to do those activities for me. Like I don't post on social media. Like when a new podcast will come on, it'll post to LinkedIn and Facebook for me instantly. It goes out there. It takes the topic, it puts it into a Google sheet. That Google sheet goes into ChatGTP, goes to that Google sheet, reads it, and then it follows my instructions on to take the hook, the body, call to action, and the hashtags, and it posts it to social media. And so I've seen a big increase in who I'm able to reach now on social media. It gets out of my zone because especially with LinkedIn, LinkedIn has the whole, if the first hour of power with LinkedIn, if you don't get so many comments, likes, or reposts in the first hour, it sits in this dark wheel for about 2 weeks before everybody sees your post on LinkedIn. So I've been able to get out of that and reach more people and contacts and be able to get into other circles outside of my regular connections by posting more on LinkedIn, automated through AI.
Gotcha. That's definitely efficient way to go. Yeah, and yeah, everything's about learning, and you don't have to know how to do something. You could, it's just you can what do you call it? You can research it or um, get in the research mode so you can learn, and then you can switch to the execution mode to kind of move forward.
And this, I'm gonna drop one of the YouTube videos that I watched into the link
Okay, that would be
here.
great.
So I took this YouTube video and I put it in the chat, everyone. And I took the transcript from this guy and I took some screenshots and I actually applied it to some of the things that I was actually doing
Okay,
myself just to see. I watched him, and then there was the other guy, what is it, Alex Hormozy. He sold $100 million worth of an ebook over the weekend. In 3 days, he sold over $100 million different ebook. And I take some of his transcripts and I see, okay, how can I apply this if I have no followers? If I
okay,
have if I don't have any VC money behind me, if I don't have, I've never had a boot camp, I've never done a class, like to get to see what examples it can pay for me, because a lot of people don't have those big followings, they don't have the podcast, they don't have that. So how do they reach who they need to reach? And it gives you pretty much, and it told me that, it said, well, the first thing, in order for people to recognize you on social media, if you're trying to post on social media, you need to be posting, at least they need to see you 11 times within 90 days. If not, then they don't know who you are. And so that was one of the scripts that I took from the YouTube generator that it has within. I forgot the name of it I'm using for YouTube, that takes
okay,
all the transcripts, and I put it in saying, so how can I apply this? This is XYZ. These are the people I want to target. This is what my product is. How do I find these people? Create me posts that will do that. So goes back to that real estate use case. Since I know real estate, that's one
hmm,
thing. I took that same, I got my real estate license at 18 years old. So I have like all this real estate knowledge, this domain knowledge, as they're saying now. I said, no, how can I apply this to another, the vertical, right? How can I apply this to another business case? How can I
yeah,
apply the same pattern? How can I apply it to get XYZ and then help other people do it? So that's when I started like working with real estate agents. I know real estate people. I'll call people that may have a listing that's been on the market for so many days. Hey, have you thought about this? And I'll send them free stuff.
hmm,
I've been working free for a lot. Some multifamily. I'm really big into multifamily real estate, and so I
okay,
would reach out to a few of the brokers, multifamily brokers, and I would do a financial analysis that I did with AI.
okay,
And then I followed up with a few, and one. It was so funny. One broker had a multifamily property for sale, and I sent it to them, and I think it took about 6 or 7 months for the property to sell, and it sold like within $25,000 of what I said it should have sold at,
oh
based
wow,
on based on the analysis and everything what AI was saying. I went out there, I took pictures with my meta glasses of the. I actually walked the property, went inside of it, and everything. Came back and put that into the AI, and it gave me like, well, based on what I'm seeing, the upgrades and the maintenance for somebody to come in and do this is going to be XYZ. And so I actually had a follow up conversation with that broker, and it explained some of the things that actually happened in that deal, and it was spot on with that price range.
wow,
Yeah,
okay,
and so yeah,
yeah, that's really fantastic. It sounds like you got a really neat system, and so you really, and my impression of what you're saying is you're leveraging these transcripts, um, um, and you're learning from these transcripts and from these YouTube videos and thing. So I'm not sure which chat link you're talking about. Maybe Chat GPT. I'm not really sure. Um, but you can reach out to me offline there, Sandra, and I'll be glad to help you. So like I think this is pretty interesting, Ray, um, because my learning, has accelerated, but it's based on the way that I've been prompting, and so that's I think that to me that's really the key. So what's that one you just pasted in there?
Yeah, so that's Alex Hormanzi. I'm
Okay.
hoping I'm saying his name right. So he has, let's see, he did a book, he did a live stream. That's another thing. Live stream is still gonna change the game. Like what we're doing right here, this is gonna change the game. With the people selling, I know TikTok Shop. A lot of people are doing that now. But what he did, he launched a book, and in 3 days he sold over $100 million worth of that book. And
Hmm.
so I just want, like, I took that transcript because if this guy has how many followers on, I don't know how many followers he has on LinkedIn and everything, his channel, he has
Okay.
over he has over 4,000 and 4 million subscribers. Okay, but still
Wow.
in 4,400 videos. He has shorts and longs, but he has a pattern. It's a pattern, you know. And so I want to say, how can I take what he's doing and apply it to someone who has no followers, no one who's trying to build followers, and so that's what I've kind of been doing, to being able to piggyback off of what's working. Evidently, it's working because the clicks, the views are there, and
Yeah.
so be able to slowly try to get into that I guess be able to have AI help get that done, because I'm not going to sit here and post 7, 11 times a day. Like, and that's just,
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let AI do that. And then, I have the opportunity to help people and business owners and be able to actually give them deliverables. And so that's one thing I try to do is like, there's a lot of people right now, and I want to say this. I want to say this. I try not to criticize anybody, but there's a lot of people that are selling AI right now that last year might have been teaching school. I'm not, no disrespect, but there's a lot of people out there. So it was one particular Facebook feed that I've been getting, and I signed up for it. It was free. It said free, and then it said, well, if you want the videos, pay $47. If you want the transcripts, pay another $47. And before I knew it, Lord, it was wanting me to pay $200. And then
Wow.
so I looked that person up, and on like I did the research. I had an AI to have a research on that person, and I was like, this person was teaching English 3 years ago. Like, tell me, like, I've been doing more AI research than them. So I want everybody to be careful signing up for these so-called free. Like, they have to have deliverables. Like deliverables, like that you can actually take something that they have said. Because a lot of these things, I tell you, Lloyd, and that's something that AI is going to wipe out, is that a lot of these conferences and people, they're nothing but motivation. You can't, motivation doesn't pay the bills. Like, I don't want you to come to my conference when I have mine, because I'm not coming to motivate you. You're not coming to get motivated. You're coming to take actionable items and to execute them so you can make money. That's the end goal right there. I'm not coming to, don't, if you want to come to Ray Arsenault's conference, don't come to get motivated, because you should already be motivated. I'm going
Okay.
to teach you how to get compensated. Okay.
Yeah. Gotcha. So I'm going to pull something up on the screen. So uh, I want so this is the thing that's been helping me learn, and so I wanted to share it, and I'll kind of walk you through it. So imagine you have a transcript from a meeting. Imagine you have a transcript article. You just read an article. Um, it could be almost anything that you want to analyze, and that's the link for this document. in the chat, and so this is the document. This is our Lenitra inspired prompt, and so I'm sharing it with you because if you do analyze stuff, this is the thing that's going to speed up your learning. You convert this raw transcript into insight, decision-ready artifacts, and actionable strategies through verbose, interactive, iterative, and context-aware analysis. And so that's the description of the prompt. But I mean, any kind of transcript, even an article would even work. But and so you don't have to actually paste it in. You can say you can have paste this prompt into the large language models. But I can guarantee you, Claude will give you a better response than ChatGPT. But I love the ChatGPT responses as well. But so you can see, it looks at the audience, the industry, the purpose, and so other analysis. So you see here, that's what's triggering a lot of the information, and so it's using this framework in order to. And here are the principles of the framework: train on verbosity, yes, wordy, iterative thinking, context continuity, structured artifact, preserve good copies, and output where Google Docs or Notion or whatever I have it do it for Coda. What was said, what it revealed, why it matters, and how it should be used. And just so you know, if you run this prompt as opposed to how you've been analyzing doc, you just compare the two, and you will be totally blown away. Yeah. So, and I won't continue on this thing, but it's just got all problems, friction, tension identified. It's crazy, and this is thanks to one of our founders, Lanika, and so I named the prompt after her. And literally, how I came up with this prompt was simply she explained what she was doing, because I noticed her results from going through the lean stack and in our business model design thing were giving better results than I've seen from the other founders. So I just asked her what is she doing, and in 1 to 2 minutes she explained what she's doing, and I just asked ChatGPT what is her method, and this is what I got. Isn't that crazy, Ray?
Yeah. It wow. Yeah. Ooh, it's nice. Yeah.
Implications by audience for founders, ESOs, funders, policymakers, community leaders, patterns, and yeah. And this thing will literally start building stuff for you. It'll literally start getting to the point where the ChatGPT or whatever starts suggesting things you should build, and it will start building it for you.
Yeah, that's the thing. It'll build it for you. It's
Yeah.
not Google. It's not Google. It will build it for you. That's the point. Yeah.
So AI agent workflows.
Yeah, and that's the future, right? That's gonna be the future. Companies and people are gonna not just get subscriptions. They're gonna buy AI systems that produce outcomes. That's the future. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But no, that's now. That's present day. That's not the future. That's now.
Yeah. But I hope I was sharing the right thing there. But the bottom line, you got the prompt there, so you can copy it and use it, and so hopefully it'll be useful to it. So so you got any more nuggets? Like about the ChatGPT story, anything like that you want to share?
Well, I guess the last nugget is that take
that playbook.
Yeah, that playbook that we had there.
Okay, let me grab it. I'll grab it and put it in the chat.
And then take that, guys, and then put it into Chat and Claude and see how you can apply it to yourself. That's the biggest thing, right? Like, how can you take these use cases and apply them to yourself to ultimately, that's the big thing. Like, how can you take this and apply it to yourself. Wow. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got pasted in the wrong place. Let me paste it in the right place here,
Let's see.
and I'll pull it up too, so just so you get a little deal here.
See if I get it.
Yeah, I'll put it up.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Um,
You got it there. I got because okay.
I just shared the screen. Yeah. So this is Ray wanted to share this. Just thank you all for attending and listening, and so hopefully you'll find a user. So how you just tell them what it is, Ray, so they'll know what it is.
Yeah, it's kind of like a high level of what's going on here. Right now, the infrastructure for AI is being built out. And so you're going to have layers and layers, and ultimately it shows you where you fit in this. Because like any technology revolution, there are winners and there are losers, right? And so when the internet hit, I was 15, 16 years old. Now something else hitting that's 20 times bigger than the internet. And so we want to take advantage of that for economics. So it shows you where you fit in this layer. It shows you, what you can do with your domain expertise, what you have. Everybody has superpowers now. Now it's just like, how are you going to use this AI to I guess tell your story, to create agents that can be produced and that can, ultimately earn income, because that's going to be the new thing. It's going to be agents. So it's not replacing labor, it's replacing knowledge, and that knowledge is going to be a digital workforce, and that's what we want to have: power and domain over AI agents that, again, spend 15 to 20 minutes a day trying to learn something that can benefit you and your use case using AI.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks a million there, and we appreciate you sharing all this knowledge, and so we try to help founders transition from these old playbooks to these AI native playbooks. So it's a real option, and so definitely join our Founder Insight program, and that's just apply.kakuainstitute.org, and we'll get you access to all of this information to keep you moving forward. All right, Ray, we appreciate it. Anything else you wanted to share? Otherwise, we're going to get on off here.
Oh no, just thank you again for having me. I look forward to, hopefully I was able to share some jewels that some people can take and apply to their situation, and just keep on going. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's really good. And one last announcement, then I'll sign off. Is our Founders Innovation Summit is April 17th and 18th, and we look forward to serving you all. We'll have it both in person and online, so make sure you mark your calendars for that. We'll be rolling out some information soon on that. Thank you all. We'll see you all next week.